NBC Sports presents the American Le Mans Series. Today, the Rose City Grand Prix from Portland, presented by Decision Point Applications. The Portland International Raceway, 1.9 miles, 9 turns around the site for the 8th race of 12 in the 2000 American Le Mans Series season. And unlike the blistering heat conditions under which last week's Grand Prix of Texas was conducted, today overcast, not even 70 degrees, a chance of rain that could affect the running of the Rose City Grand Prix. On pole for the 4th time this season and the 4th in the last 5 races, the Audi of Allan McNish and Dindo Capello, sharing the front row with their teammates, winners last week at Texas, Frank Biela and Emanuele Pirro. Starting third, very close to the Audis in qualifying, the Paynos. David Brabham, winner of this race a year ago, to share the car with Jan Magnussen. Outside of row 2, the second of the Paynos cars, American Johnny O'Connell and Japan's Hiroki Kato. Starting 5th, the Raffinelli Lola, Mimo Scantarella and Didier de Rodriguez with a good qualifying run. Green flag, the Rose City Grand Prix is underway here in Portland. McNish takes the lead on the start. Watch the Paynos try and get to the inside, the red car.
Yeah, and remember about the cold tires. Look at the BMW locking up his brakes. One of the Reynard locked up his in the Paynos also.
Off into the sand. Is that Lehto?
That's the BMW once again on cold tires, and I think he bumped the Raffinelli car as well. That's 42. Lehto, BMW is, they're both safely through, but that really could have been very dangerous, taking themselves out of position so early in the race.
Lehto got stuck in that gravel trap during the practice session yesterday, noontime, here in Portland, toward the end of the practice. That festival curves, we saw the 43 BMW basically throw away the chance for a good finish right at that corner just past the starting line in last year's race. So they all got through safely, more or less.
Yeah, it's going to take some time once the field settles down. Here's the formation flying by the Vipers to see if, once this settles down, we can maybe see if any of the cars... Oh, and look at that, the rear bodywork on the Raffinelli car is loose. That was one of the things that definitely happened up at the chicane. Now watch this when he gets on the front straight. Look, no, we're not going to see it from this view, but this is going to be so critical, too. He will have to make a pit stop. He just can't take a chance on running with that piece loose. The vacuum on the rear end of the car is going to be trying to rip that section right off, and it could easily damage the rear wing. Now he's moving to the right, trying to block a pass. He did not do it successful.
Oberlin up to the inside to try and take the spot away from Mimo Scantarella. So on the break, it is Dindo Capello who's taken the lead in the Audi. There he is. Italian driver there, out in front. The second of the Audis with Frank Biela aboard. He's running right behind in second.
Yeah, this is really formation flying right now, with Audis running 1-2 and the Paynos cars running 3-4.
Here's the ride from Biela's Audi.
Just so careful out of that last corner. And the little shift lights just flashing on the dash. Way up ahead, you can see his teammate is stretching out a nice lead. And the two Paynos are very close.
Whoa. Fourth. Here's a challenge up to the inside. No. Briefly.
Just took a look.
That was O'Connell taking that was Brabham taking a look inside of O'Connell. That big mix into the festival curves on the first lap. It was O'Connell who got the shuffle on Brabham. Back at Portland International Raceway in the Rose City Grand Prix, we have a new leader. It is the car you're riding with, the Audi R8 of Emanuele Pirro. He took the lead from his teammate, Dindo Capello, in the pole starting Audi R8 in rather interesting fashion. There is Capello, who has dropped all the way back to 6th position now. They came up on to put a lap on. Two drivers racing nose to tail for the lead in the GT class. Randy Popst in the Alex Job Racing Porsche had taken the lead away from Dirk Muller in the Dick Barber car. They ran up on that race for the lead, tried to force some things where they just didn't have enough room.
A complete lack of thought at that point. Should never have tried that pass. It is not the fault of the GT drivers. They were well into the corner. They had a right to go in and take their line. That's the Audi driver's mistake at that point. This is not a planned stop by the BMW.
You can see that they've had a right rear puncture. This is the least laden tire on the car, but the carcass has ripped the car apart. You can see the broken bodywork. It's ripped off the inlet manifolds. It's also ripped off, most importantly, part of the cooling system. So this is going to be a long stop for the 43 car.
The double yellow flag signifying full course caution. Remember when we were riding with the Alex Job car, we saw the pieces of bodywork from Oberlin's machine on the backstretch?
Yeah, there they are.
That would be the reason for the full course yellow. We are back under green, as you can see, and we did have a couple of pit stops under the yellow flag. Interesting enough that some of the front runners stayed out, some of the front runners came in.
This is the number 1 car coming in, so Paynos has decided to take a chance with one car. They brought this car in, they refueled it, and also the 77 Audi. Couldn't have been a more perfect time for a double yellow flag for Audi as far as they were concerned, because they were not only able to get a 4-tire stop and refuel, but even more important, look at this, a brand new front end, and they've got those winglets back on the new front end. So the balance of the car has been restored. It is every bit as fast as it should have been.
But after making the repairs, Capello has only made his way back up to the 7th position now, and he's 24 seconds behind Puro in the team car, so he's got some ground that he is going to have to make up. Let's go take a look at the GT class now and see how things are shaping up. That dogfight for the top spot in this division continuing on. Randy Popes continues to lead in the Alex Job Racing Porsche. You ride with him off onto the front stretch, but he is just barely ahead of Sasha Mawson and Dirk Muller in the 2 Dick Barber Racing Porsches. There you see the leader, the purple-nosed machine coming at you, and there are the other 2 Porsches right behind with a challenge for second in the GT class. Here's Muller up to the inside of Wallach.
Oh, and Muller got a little bit loose under braking there. I think Wallach was smart. He had to move over just a tiny bit.
Now, got a couple of different things going on here that have converged to make a rather interesting situation. This is the race for 3rd spot. J.J. Lehto in the white car up ahead is the BMW, and this is David Brabham in the Panos. Brabham trying to pick his way back up through traffic. Remember, he stopped under the full course caution when Lehto didn't. This is last lap. They've run up on the race for the GT class lead.
Keep in mind now, the 23 and 5, they're having the battle of themselves, but look at the Brabham is right side by side of the BMW, but which side do you choose? Well, the BMW chooses the proper side. He gets to go through, and unfortunately, they both have to go around this long outside edge. That is real bravery right there, because look at all the debris on the outer edge. Terrific piece of track here. It is so slippery, you can easily get sideways. Both these drivers doing such a wonderful job.
Dirk Muller has gone by, reassumed the lead in the Dick Barber Racing Porsche, the number 5 car. Remember, he got punted off by Capello in the Audi earlier in the race. Here's the pass for the GT class lead.
Yeah, look at Randy going in the corner. You can see the car, it does get loose. He is not able to get back on the throttle, whereas the number 5 car coming out of the front straight was able to pick up throttle a lot earlier.
Back at Portland and back under the green flag. The lead car is the red one back of your frame. The 2 cars you're seeing heading into the festival curves. Emanuele Puro in the 78 car was the leader until a moment ago. The 43 many laps down, that Jean-Marc Gounon. We've had well, we've got a whole list of things we have to go back over for you. Here's a challenge for the lead. Up to the inside, that's Didier de Rodriguez trying to force his way up underneath Johnny O'Connell in the Panos.
Oh, and a successful move, too. That was a terrific, very aggressive move, but he was able to pull it off. Excellent clean pass.
Now, the pass for the lead, de Rodriguez was not the leader. It's the Audi there with the yellow wing. That is Allan McNish, the Scotsman, now back on board that car. He followed de Rodriguez through into the lead around the Panos. We got under a full course caution just a minute ago. This is Dirk Muller in the Dick Barber Lead GT Porsche.
And that quickly, things can happen in this race. Now, the Viper was under acceleration, had to back out of it just for a moment. Muller, meanwhile, could not take any evasive action. And on the back straight, Doc Bundy had a hard impact in the guardrail. Look, you can see both wheels on the side of the car. Doc struggles out of the car with some assistance. He is obviously hurting.
And look at this dogfight. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Need to kind of establish that on the pit stops under the full course caution, most of the driver changes have taken place. So it is McNish aboard the 77 that's now come back from the early spin into the lead. Running in 2nd spot is the David Brabham Panos, the red car there. The white BMW is not on the lead lap. It spent many laps behind the wall getting repairs after a tire exploded earlier. There's McNish, the leader. 2nd is Brabham in the Panos. He's still on board the car, has not yet given it up to his teammate. 3rd is the other Panos. That's Johnny O'Connell in the number 2 car. Those are the top 3. And then the white car, the second one of the white cars there, just right of your screen. That is the other BMW car.
God, look at this battle, too. He is right alongside. And this is the BMW that apparently had all of these problems throughout practice. They had no grip, no acceleration, no brakes, no launch, no nothing. But suddenly, the car is back up fighting with this Panos.
This car got caught by a full course caution that came out just after it pitted.
Yeah.
And that has put them in the position now to be lapped by the race leader.
You're right, the 78 car caught a really bad break with their fuel window and their tyre change. The 77 car has made 2 yellow flag pit stops, and in between times they were running on brand new rubber while everybody else was in half a session old rubber. That's why the 77 car has gone leaping up the order. The 78 car has dropped right back.
Boy, Boy, McNish has opened up a huge advantage. He's out in front by what was 33 seconds over the second place car, though that has just grown as the second place car has just been on pit road. Jan Magnussen has gotten behind the wheel and taken over for that one. Here is the GTS class leader. Haven't really talked about them all race long. It is Carl Wendlinger in the Dodge Viper, and look at the two Vipers there. That's Tommy Archer behind in the second of the Vipers, both of them with pretty scarred up race cars.
Yeah, is that the ultimate show of teamwork there, that you both have holes punched in exactly the same area of your race car?
GT class leader you're looking at there. Dick Barber racing Porsche. Sasha Mawson started the car. Bob Wallach is driving it now. Their advantage on the second place car in GT is some 12.5 seconds. That is Boris Said driving the Milner Racing, the prototype racing BMW M3. That is that distance behind the class leader. Here is Boris. Subbing this weekend for Hans Stuck, the veteran who has apparently discovered that he got injured in the Mosport race.
Yeah, that's the most bizarre story, that he said somehow he damaged his back during the race, but I don't know. Stucky's an old teammate, and I know that he just got married last year and has this beautiful young blonde wife, and well, you decide.
You're not suggesting.
I'm not suggesting a thing.
And there's McNish, the leader on pit road. Martin Haven.
Well, I told you a moment or two ago that Audi had not planned to change the tyres on this car for Allan's final stint until they saw that Brabham's car had done so, the number one Paynos that currently lies second. But no, they wave away the tyre men. Allan is happy with his rubber, and that may seal the race for him.
Even if the rubber is not perfect, he's continuing to drive so smoothly and use this wonderful God-given ability. I mean, there's racers and there's racers, but like there's writers of sorts. You've got Mark Twain, you got Shania Twain, and boy, there's a big difference.
Fifth place car, Frank Biela, on board with him now as he comes down to the start-finish line. Actually, I think he's just moved up to fourth spot, having just overtaken Hiroki Kato in the Paynos. We saw these drivers racing for positions a minute ago. This is last lap by, coming down to the festival curves, the chicane at the end of the front stretch.
And one of those areas, too, where they have been so strong under braking right here. It's absolutely straight line. Kato tries to intimidate him a little bit.
Ooh, contact there.
Even going,
Hello. Wow. Where did that come from?
Sneaking by that.
That is Doug Hebenthal, Seattle area driver, and one of the Alex Job racing Porsches that was backwards. Now you're looking at the third place car. This is Jorg Muller in the BMW, running in third on the podium for the moment. At Texas, when they finished fourth with this car, it was the first time in any American Le Mans Series race that they've entered that the car failed to place a podium finish. Here's the problem they got right now, though, Bill, is that they may not finish on the podium today either. The Audi of Frank Biela is running 2 seconds a lap faster than Muller is. There are 11 minutes to go in the race, and we'll check the interval between the two. 19 seconds.
Shades of Mosport, only it's reversed.
Yep. This is a race for position. This is 7th and 8th spots here.
Yeah, and these guys, both of them, I mean, both teams have just had outstanding races today. They have not benefited at all from pit stops at the wrong or the right times. But, gee, they've done a fine job. Twin-turbo V8 North Star up ahead in that Cadillac, and the Olive Garden car, remember, is a V10 Judd. And he got it.
Down to the inside as they come to the festival curves. Hard on the brake. Look at him work that steering wheel, right side of your screen.
Oh, did he ever. That was a great shot there.
Mimo Scattarella, the Italian driver, gets the 7th spot away from Wayne Taylor as the Raffinelli Lola jumps up a position over the Cadillac. There's the GT leader in for the splash as the white flag is set to come out. Martin.
Yes, guys, 1 lap to go and 1 lap too little fuel for Bob Wallach. Away he goes. I'm not even sure the stopwatch got running during that fuel stop.
McNish, the 30-year-old from Dumfries, Scotland, scored a win in 2 of the last 3 races. Now they've come out, overcome early race troubles, lap 7 troubles, to come all the way back up to the front of the pack and in position to score the victory and close further on the BMW drivers in the chase for the American Le Mans Series Championship. Final corner. Here he comes, McNish, off turn number 9, checkered flag, and the Rose City Grand Prix to Allan McNish and his teammate, Dendo Capello. Now let's go back to the GTS class, the 91 car. There, with Olivier Beretta back on board, will score the victory as they come off the corner. After losing out to the vets 1 week ago, the vets didn't show up. here at Portland. So Beretta and Wendlinger score the victory for them. That would be their 6th win in 8 tries this season for that driving duo. You know, I think he's actually taken the checkered flag by virtue of making that pit stop. I believe Wallach has already actually gotten the checkers, so he's actually on his cool-down lap, but there he is nonetheless, scoring the victory for the 3rd time this season.
Yeah, it was very, very good. Dindo made a superb start. Unfortunately got caught with a GT3 car, but that's sometimes the way it goes. But the team did a really, really good job in the pits to get us back into the lead lap. Also, I would have to say Michelin were very, very good today because we ran nearly 2.5 hours on one set of tyres, and that really gave us the opportunities to get into the lead and to pull away.
The podium, well, BMW gets back onto the podium with Jorg Muller and J.J. Lehto getting the 3rd place position. And looking down, Bila and Piro not able to catch Muller and Lehto for that podium spot. Good run for the Reynard, 5th place there for Smith and Johansson. And so for Allan McNish, the victory bringing him closer to taking the lead in the American Le Mans Series Championship standings as the circuit heads off to the 10-hour, 1,000-mile Petite Le Mans at Road Atlanta a little bit later on this month.